Hello, I'm Ian Burnett, a VP in RGP's Risk and Compliance Advisory Practice. I would like to welcome you to RGP's Innovation Session, where we are introducing PowerAudit, our RPA Control Assurance Framework. We have some discussion slides and a few short videos to play that will give you an overview of PowerAudit and how it works. We are excited about this innovative solution and see lots of potential to automate routine control assurance activities, thus freeing up time to have humans focus on more value-added judgmental tasks. Let's get going. But first, we have a polling question. To what extent has your IA department implemented RPA to facilitate internal audit automation? From FEI survey results, we know that companies are looking for RPA solutions to help mitigate errors, streamline expenses, and minimize fraud. RGP's PowerAudit solution framework is perfectly positioned to provide this type of value and increased assurance in these areas. Now, let's take a look at a high-level overview video of PowerAudit from our website, www.rgp.com/PowerAudit. And you'll be able to see how PowerAudit is positioned as a valuable tool to help internal audit departments.
If you're responsible for internal audits, you're in charge of more than just the numbers. Audit leaders are accountable for managing risk, ensuring compliance, and accurately reporting on massive sums of data, often spread across multiple systems. It's a big, time-consuming, and sometimes intimidating job with lots of potential for human error. Manual processes and reviews are expensive and require too many resources to manage. A lack of standards and incomplete testing can result in missed findings, sanctions, and penalties. And weaknesses in controls can even expose your organization to fraud. RGP's PowerAudit gives audit teams superhuman capabilities, harnessing the power of bots, the cloud, and a standardized framework to decrease costs, eliminate errors, and reduce risk. Our plug-and-play bots take the heavy lifting of gathering, validating, and reporting on data off your plate so your team members can focus on the high-value tasks that humans do best. Once they're deployed, they work 24/7 on a secure cloud, continuously monitoring and sampling up to 100% of your data following a standardized process. They'll retrieve the data, structure the evidence, validate it against rules, and report on findings while staying GDPR compliant. They'll also create a complete audit trail with built-in change management, which your team can access from anywhere to inform risk assessments and investigations and take action on insights. Give your stakeholders and investors assurance and confidence that internal controls are functioning efficiently and effectively with an internal audit solution that's robot-powered, human-driven. Visit rgp.com/PowerAudit to get started.
Recapping highlights from the video, we see that PowerAudit is enabled to provide smart automation using a customizable 3-bot framework to run audit testing logic in a repeatable way that we believe has potential to automate a significant portion of routine audit testing activities. PowerAudit can be configured to run cloud-based or on-premise and review 100% of transaction population or select a sample if preferred. Because it's automated, mistakes and human errors are eliminated, providing confident control assurance. Leveraging the automated power of bots means that control testing can be scripted to run on a repetitive cycle basis with high throughput, saving time for humans to focus on other tasks. The net result is reduced time on manual audit tasks, and we know that time equals money. The PowerAudit framework is built using 3 bots that leverage underlying RPA software to execute program tasks. The use of 3 distinct bots allows for maximum customization and configurability for optimal performance in your control environment. Each bot can be individually configured to meet your needs. Additionally, the compartmentalized nature of the automated tasks will facilitate the ease of future bot logic and interface maintenance. Now let's take a closer look at the bots in action. The following video expands on what we saw in the 2-minute overview video. In this example, PowerAudit conducts a control test related to customer master file data validation, complete with audit testing output and generation of audit work papers.
In today's fast-paced climate, stakeholders and investors alike rely on internal audits for independent assurance on risk management, controls, and governance issues, placing a heavy burden on auditors' time. Internal auditors are spending up to 40% of their time collecting and gathering evidence instead of focusing on high-value tasks. And it's not just the opportunity costs that can add up. Human errors can result in penalties. Labor-intensive processes can drain resources, and missed findings leave companies exposed to fraud and fines. Introducing PowerAudit from RGP, an RPA-based framework for controls assurance, internal audits, and SOX testing. PowerAudit is designed to help risk and compliance leaders decrease costs, eliminate errors, and reduce risk. It offers 3 modular plug-and-play robots that collect and sample data 24/7 from your enterprise systems following a standardized process with strict governance. With PowerAudit, your team can focus on high-priority initiatives like conducting data-driven risk assessments and better investigations. Let's see PowerAudit's bots in action as they gather, sample, and validate evidence. The master data validation is executed via email by the auditor, which triggers the entire process chain. Our intelligent data bot goes through each file received and compares the data to the actual CRM master. The bot logs into the CRM, taking screenshots of the data and attaching it back into the master data file, validating the records of the sample. The bot then sends the curated check data back to the auditor and prepares the data for the next step in the process. Auditors can choose to run in a continuous monitoring mode, where they can audit the entire sample set, or they can decide to have the bot use a randomizer algorithm to select a subset for the audit. In this example, the auditor has chosen to randomize the sample. The bot has logged into the randomizer website and passed over the overall sample set. The randomizer selects the sample based on the criteria configured by risk perception and activity frequency of the records in the population. It then returns a subset of records and will extract only those records from the master data for the actual control execution. The bot documents the process by taking a screenshot and pasting it within the master file. The sample data is then added as a new tab within the overall master, saved, and then sent back to the auditor and organized for the next step in the process. The bot takes in the curated sample data as an input, logs into the CRM, and validates each of the sample rows that the randomizer algorithm generated as the sample set. The bot confirms against a configurable set of business rules, like checking the authoriser's credentials, tax numbers, and other attributes. Rules can be customized to a specific set of client scenarios and particular geographies. It then arranges the evidence in separate tabs and shows the results in an overall summary in real time. Upon completion, the bot sends an email of the report to the auditor, who can now focus on the actual audit process of spotting patterns and facilitating in-depth investigations. PowerAudit is hosted on your internal network and only interfaces within your architecture with read-only access to your data. PowerAudit's bots communicate and report only using your internal email systems to protect your data, privacy, and confidentiality. As part of their process, the bots create a complete audit trail with built-in change management, which your team can access from anywhere to inform risk assessments and investigations. Give your stakeholders and investors assurance and confidence that internal controls are functioning efficiently and effectively with PowerAudit. Visit rgp.com/PowerAudit to get started.
All right, as you can see from the video, PowerAudit could be deployed in a number of control assurance scenarios. Controls assurance takes many forms, and specific assurance requirements vary by company and industry. However, PowerAudit can certainly add value for automated control assurance scenarios, including internal audit, SOX testing, regulatory compliance, and continuous controls monitoring. RGP has developed a phased implementation approach to PowerAudit. We understand the importance of starting small in pilot mode. In phase one, we like to start by making an investment in your organization to understand your business and technical environment so that we can best assess how PowerAudit can be leveraged in your environment. We select a sample control to take forward to a second phase. In phase two, we configure the bot framework for a pilot control to demonstrate proof of value. It is here that we can get a better feel for the ROI achievable from a scaled approach to PowerAudit. In phase three, after we demonstrate proof of value with a pilot, we will work with you on a solution scaling and broader implementation approach to PowerAudit to bring to life the opportunities that we identified in the phase one assessment. And in phase four, we customize delivery and support for you in terms of training and ongoing maintenance to make sure that you are well supported as we scale the solution. And now we have another polling question. Would you be interested in partnering with RGP to assess if PowerAudit is a practical solution for your internal audit department? I hope you enjoyed this overview of RGP's PowerAudit Control Assurance Framework. We are excited about this innovative solution and hope you are too. Please visit us at www.rgp.com/PowerAudit and schedule a demo. And now we have one final polling question followed by some time for Q&A. Thank you for your time and attention. Our final polling question: what other initiatives is your internal audit department focused on in 2021?
All right, Ian, I think we have our first question.
All right, let's take a look. Thanks, Bart. Hope you guys enjoyed that overview of PowerAudit. We're very excited about this tool and really officially launching it just recently. So do you need a team of bot subject matter experts to achieve these levels of success? Shouldn't be the same info management should be using when running the business. So, well, the good news is that RGP has a center of excellence that has subject matter experts with this capability. And what we do, as we've indicated, is we really try to sit down with you up front and understand your business a little bit better, your environment a little bit better. Functionally, what are you trying to do? What does your risk and control matrix look like? What is your technical environment? What ERPs do you have, and so forth, to really determine where this potentially could be a great fit for you. So, the other thing also is that we will work with you to understand, what do you have in terms of support within your team? who do you have that would be participating in such a deployment or implementation if we were to go that route, and understand, what level of training would you need? How well staffed are you to support this on your own going forward versus, what additional support you would need from RGP to maintain it long term. So the underlying software that was used in that example that we showed with the video is UiPath, which is an off-the-shelf RPA software. However, the framework could be built using other underlying software solutions as well. Some people have other tools out there. There's quite a few. So that would be something that we try to figure out during the upfront opportunity assessment is really, what do you have? What tools are you using currently? If you have UiPath, great. That's a fabulous starting point. However, it's not the only tool that can be utilized in this manner. It's more about the approach and the framework. And, we really like that 3-bot model because it allows for maximum customization and configurability.
Fantastic.
How much? Okay, another question about cost. So cost is going to be variable. We do this work on a time and materials basis. And if you're talking about, an initial pilot activity to look at one control in that second phase, the first phase, as I mentioned, we do a bit of an investment with you to understand your environment. But if we identify something to move forward with in terms of a pilot, you're probably talking about, $5,000-ish, maybe to $8,000 to do like a pilot activity. So it is a cost per control. And then from there, once you have the ability to scale, we expect to get synergies and have things become more scalable, especially if you take a like-minded bot solution scenario, like something in the ITGC space. You could apply that logic potentially across multiple platforms, and then it would be easier to scale it up that way. We have had a lot of success in the ITGC area. That's where a lot of people think of as the first go-to place. And so we've got some really good logic associated with that already. However, there's a number of business cycle areas where this type of solution could be helpful. Okay, we have another question. I'm not ready to jump into PowerAudit, but I'd like someone on my team to take a look. Is the best place to start your website? Yes, we do have the 2-minute video available on our website. I also know that in our booth for the GAM conference here, we have a link to the second video, which is 4.5 minutes, which goes into a little more detail. I know it moves pretty quickly, but that's the one that's running through the illustrative example using a custom master file data validation. So please go back to our booth, and on the right side there, you should see links to materials that we have in our booth, and one of them is a link to that video. So take a look and feel free to reach back out to us through the booth for additional dialogue. Thanks.
Yeah, and I would say that, certainly if you can visit us in the booth, that would be great. We'd be happy to chat with you further. But also reach out to either myself and Ian independently, after the conference. We'd be happy to chat with somebody on your team to provide some more information, some more details, some more insight, and answer any questions they may have.
Yeah. And I did notice through the polling that, certainly the largest initiative that people do have right now is going forward with potentially an RPA or data analytic type solution. That technology is certainly becoming more and more applicable to internal audit and a great tool for departments to use. I noticed that the second item there was about moving to more agile, and we certainly see utilization of technology and leveraging technology as a great tool to help departments become more agile. I mentioned that this example we showed was based on UiPath. I'd be interested in if anybody out there wants to throw in, whether they have UiPath already, or what are you guys seeing maybe in the chat, or do you use other RPA tools in your department? What are some of the things that you guys are doing as you explore use of RPA and data analytics in your departments? as I mentioned also, there's a number of different scenarios that we've already taken a look at in terms of some of the key business process areas, such as procure to pay, the revenue cycle area, IT general controls I mentioned, and even record to report for financial reporting. We feel like there's some great opportunities to use this type of automated testing solution. And it's not only about the testing too. RPA, as many people know, can be kind of pushed back into some of the other lines of defense too. And we've also had clients really want to explore more use of a tool like this, more so from a continuous monitoring or control automation standpoint itself, rather than just the testing piece. So there's certainly a number of scenarios out there. And again, those are the types of things that we work through when we sit down and meet with clients to talk about their environment and what might work best for them. So we have a question about using Blueprism and Google Cloud. Any issues with these platforms? I'm not aware of any issues per se. I would need to understand a bit better what specific concerns there might be. As I mentioned, there are a lot of platforms out there, and this type of approach, kind of compartmentalizing the bots in this manner by having a data retrieval bot, a prep bot, if you will, and then an actual third bot, which is bumping up data against a rule set, is what we feel is a great approach. That type of solution and framework could be built using a number of tools. I see someone also is asking about, we struggle with getting access to data and systems. Yeah, that's a common theme. We hear that a lot with data analytics and things like this. However, that really gets back to, again, part of that opportunity assessment that we would do up front, working with you to understand your sources of data. What ERPs are you looking at? Obviously, we know about SAP and Oracle and some of the bigger ones, and have designed some of our hooks around some of those bigger, more common packages. But certainly with any tool involving data, there are challenges with getting data and getting clean data. So this type of solution is also going to work best in an environment where things are fairly stable. Bots are going to do their best work in stable environments where control testing is primarily rule-based and requires little judgment. That's the whole intent here, is to take those kinds of controls and throw them over to the bots, and also let people, humans rather, focus more so on things that require judgment, which bots are not as good at. Okay. So this is a continuation of that question about the data, and sometimes there are challenges getting access. Yeah, absolutely. We understand that. And certainly if we were to sit down with organizations, we need to understand, how feasible is it? And you want buy-in from all departments, right? I mean, it's not just audit that can benefit from this, but the entire organization can benefit from this type of solution. So, working with IT departments as well as audit departments would certainly be one of the things that we would do to make sure that this is a workable solution in any client's environment. Anything else in the chat, Bart?
Let me check. Don't see anything specifically at this point.
Okay. Can you provide additional specific success stories you've had with a client or two? So this is a new solution. We are launching it. We have a few clients that we're working with right now on opportunity assessment phases. We've done some other pilot activity, really demonstrating potential to reduce time to perform certain control testing by up to 40%. Again, rules-based, high-frequency type controls, especially in the ITGC area, is where we've kind of proven that out. But I can't say that I have a million ROIs to share at this point, because it's early days. This is a very new solution, but we are very excited about it, and think that this is going to really play well in a lot of internal audit departments that have these type of high frequency rules-based controls. They can be automated. And so, we'd love to work with you and anybody who has an interest in taking a closer look at this to really see how this can fit into your environment. Okay, so I'm being told here we're wrapping up. Please join our booth, come see us and ask some more questions and take a look at our materials there, including a replay of the 4-minute video that we walked through. So thank you very much for joining us and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thanks, take care.